It was this one young lady, right? Homegirl, super cool. My dog, loved her. We even went on some friend trips. You know what I'm saying? Some group trips. We was all cool, having a great time. And as time went on, I always thought she was attractive, but because she was the homegirl, you know, I can compartmentalize. Like I checked the temperature. She seemed like she was on some cool shit, and we kept it that for quite a while. And one day, the friend group was supposed to meet up downtown. Nobody showed up except me and her. Right?
Damn.
We kicked it at the bar, ordered some Long Islands. I never had a Long Island.
Uh-oh.
She had. I didn't. We got 2 each. We were so fucking drunk that it was ridiculous how drunk we were. And I walked into her car, and we stood at the car, and we talked for damn near like an hour. Just talking about shit. Drunk as fuck.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and it was dark outside. It wasn't dark when we was walking to the car.
Damn.
And the talking at some point took a turn, and we walked behind a hotel. It was right across the street from a hotel. We walked behind a hotel. We started fucking behind the hotel. The ass was crazy. The pussy felt like it had a vacuum in it. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we got caught. You know what I'm saying? Security came, caught, boom. So I was like, move around. So ended up going back to the crib. And from that time on, obviously, things kind of shifted, right? And I didn't necessarily want to be in a relationship with her at that moment, but I liked her, though. As time went on over the years, we just stayed close. We stayed cool. We had a real friendship. Like, when I say a real friendship, I'm not saying, like, I'm pretending she's my friend in public and then I'm behind closed doors. It's like, we had, like, a genuine bond is what I'm trying to say. We had a genuine bond, but we also, we'll kick it every now and then. We'll go on dates sometime. We have sex sometimes. Anytime I call, she answered the phone. She'd sit on the phone with me, talk to me all day if I wanted to do that. Like, we had a real smooth situation. So eventually I said, you know what? I want to be with this girl.
Yeah.
I want to be in a relationship. She didn't want that. And I couldn't understand why.
Yeah.
I'm like, we fucking, we going on dates.
Oh
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you giving me head just like on my dick. Like, what's that? Like, how do you not want to be with me? Like, this is crazy. I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it at all. And it made me feel away. You know what I'm saying? Because we do all of this fucking. 90% of the chicks we fucking, if we ask, do you want to be together? They're gone.
Yeah,
They're saying yes immediately.
100%.
All right? They dying for it. But this chick is like, nah, I'm cool. And I think it begs the question for a lot of men, because we always talk about niggas playing games with women and a man not wanting to commit and all these things. But what happens when a woman is the one who don't want to commit? It's one thing when a woman don't like you off top. Yeah. It's one thing when a woman trying to use you for some money. It's one thing when a woman trying to, whatever the case may be, with a woman genuinely fucking with you, and it comes to that relationship and she like, nah, I don't want that with you. Yeah. How do we react to that? How does it make us feel? What does it say about, do we internalize it? What does it say about our self-worth? What happens after that?
If you lazy, you waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon and shit like that.
Popping bottles.
You're setting the tone for everybody because you're the leader.
Popping pills.
That's just what comes with being a man.
Popping bitch ass niggas.
I don't want nobody making decisions over my life except me. Not a woman, not a judge, not an officer, not no motherfucker.
When them bullets hit them up, look like son had a seizure. Run out, give it up, you know the procedure. I be sipping Jack and honey.
I don't think nothing can make me feel like a man. I don't think nothing can make me not feel like a man.
Chains on my collar.
You can't take the benefits of being a man without the responsibilities.
Give you niggas halos on God in the king.
Welcome back to Roses I Did. I'm Terry Rosen.
I'm Jones. This gonna be one of them ones. I damn near got 2 stories like that.
You gonna cry?
I'm sorry.
You gonna cry?
I'm sorry.
No, okay. That's a no, man.
Those tears been got out.
Okay. How's your week?
Cool. No complaints. Pretty normal week. I can't bench press right now.
Why not?
For some reason, my wrist just hurts. Pressure on it in that position, it just, I don't know. Even the push up, any type of small tension on it in a certain way, and it's frustrating because I'm strong as shit right now, and I feel like I can go over 315, but my wrist can't take that amount of weight. So I don't know. I just gotta thug it out and just not lift. Not bench press. So
Okay.
other than that, I'm good.
My week has been pretty smooth, man. I've been up at the school. I told the kids that I graduated from there in 08. They told me they weren't born yet. Very humbling experience for me.
That's
man.
crazy.
Very humbling experience for me. And I don't know how I didn't do the math on that. Like, I know I've been out of high school for like 17 years, but it just didn't click to me that these kids weren't alive when I left this building.
Damn.
And I'm like, I'm old as shit. It's official. Shit's crazy. These niggas taller than me. Talking about I wasn't born when you graduated high school.
Nah, that'd be.
Yeah. So other than that, man, the week was pretty good. It's a few things I want to talk about. Well, what else happened my week? My son had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up switching the days that between me and his mom. He had surgery, but he's all good. He had a hernia. You know what I'm saying? I had two.
That's all them damn. You making them do too much shit. Push ups. You making them bench press and shit.
Yeah, they said his body was just developing wrong or some shit. I don't know. But they say it wasn't like a stress, like a lifting hernia type shit. I had 2 hernias when I was a kid too, though.
That's crazy. All that weight I live, I've never had one.
Yeah. You're lifting heavy enough, man. I was a baby lifting heavier than the fuck are you talking about? My son lifting one out. Nah, so that was tough. He never had a surgery before, obviously. So
I was like, how did he what was the whole process for him? Like, yeah, you gotta have surgery. Like, how did he like?
he didn't give a fuck till he got there. He didn't give a fuck at all until it was time for him to stick that motherfucking IV in his hand. That's when he turned.
That's
up.
what he was scared of. Oh shit.
He opted for the IV too. It was a funny moment. I was like, I'm like, man, you know, they give you the gas mask or they give you the IV, you know, to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, we was telling him what the difference was, and the doctor came in and was like, you know, the gas mask is just like a smelly gas. He was like, smelly? No, they give me the IV. I'm like, you sure? Like the gas mask, you just put it on for a little while, you gonna fall asleep. Ooh. Like, nah, give me the IV. Man, they came in and stuck his ass. He was crying, hollering and shit. He like, where's the gas mask? Give me the gas mask.
It's too late. We already made the concoction.
Man, but the lady was taking so long to get the shit in his vein. The shit was, I wanted to beat the bitch up. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Bro, my pops, my pops is a true crash out when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember me, my sisters, if you can't find that vein,
yeah,
you're going to have to call security because he's going to go the fuck off on you.
Yeah.
Like, he internalizes that as, like, that bullshit. Y'all trying to fuck my baby up. Like, he's crashing out.
Yeah. It was hard for me. Like, I crashed out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't cussed the lady out, but I'm like, gee, you got about one more chance to get that shit right. It's like, cause you tweaking. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Like, are you an intern, bitch? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, shit was goofy, man. He screaming, crying and shit. That shit was bad. I don't even want to think about it too much. But yeah, that shit was dumb. Other than that, the week was good. He recovered pretty good. Today was his first day back at school. Shit was cool. That's about it for this week, man.
Cool.
You started the accountability group.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Started, yeah. And shout out to you.
Shout out to my boy.
Like, you got this. This why it's important to have dope friends, man. Bro will randomly call me. I'm talking about
6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m. What's the word, bro? Nigga, I got an idea for your business. Like, bro, what? He like, you could do this, you could do that. He's definitely gave me some plays, and I put one of them into action, and it's going well. Yeah. So if you need some accountability with your fitness goals, I have a group for you, and it is free. Just hit me up on Instagram. I'll add you to it, and we in that bitch getting to it. You know what I'm saying? And if you slack, I will call you the fuck out.
And this shit's just like a hit immediately. You don't get that with most things. Most things you start.
Yeah, I won't say I was surprised. I was surprised, but it was in a good way. I'm like, damn, this bitch busting.
You know what I learned?
What?
It's easier when you already built the brand, right? Mm-hmm. You built the audience already. You just didn't put them in a place yet.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody there, like when I made the announcement, like, hey, I got a group chat. I mean, a community for accountability. I'm already trusted. People know me for
working out.
Exactly.
They follow you because you work out. They know you. They look up to you in the fitness space because you've already represented yourself a certain way in that space. Then you already had the calendar going for a couple years.
Literally.
So it was already like, oh, I'm checking in with him so I do my shit, and it just made sense, right? And it's just like when we talk about people ask like, oh, how do I start a podcast? Well, I be telling them like, just go live and talk about one thing once or twice a week for a long time.
Yeah.
And then when people start to know you for that, when they match you up with you do this, when I think about this, I think of this person, that's when you start the podcast.
For sure.
Right? And I think that's exactly what you did. Like you built the brand up for 3, and again, I be telling people, if you ain't willing to do the shit for 5 years, just don't start, right? So you done built this fitness brand up, what has it been, 4 years at least?
It's been longer than that.
You've been doing fitness for more than that? So before I knew you was already doing fitness?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Makes sense. Nigga strong shit. But so yeah, it hit off the top, man. I'm happy for you. That shit was dope.
Appreciate it.
You gotta get that commercial shot.
Yeah, I
And now
definitely
you got the people.
facts.
Oh,
That commercial gonna be fucking hilarious.
For sure. That's all we got for the week for the check-in.
For you guys that's coming to Rose to Go, if you flying in, I'm actually gonna create a group chat for y'all. Or if you flying in, you coming by yourself, or if you thinking about coming in and you like, man, I don't really know, I'm coming by myself. It's more people like you, so I'm gonna create a group chat for everybody that's coming by yourself, and that's your village, that's your group. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can link up, y'all can try restaurants together. You ain't got to be there if you coming in early.
Now they gonna be in that deeper than everybody else.
Right,
They
y'all
gonna be
gonna
the majority.
Y'all gonna be clicked up. Who the fuck is them? But now I'm gonna start that group chat. Follow me on Instagram. The Man's Perspective page. I'm gonna start it from there.
For sure.
Just hit me up.
Also, something that happened, I think that it'd be funny to me when women get an insight on men and how we behave. And when we went out for the tank fight, it was a chick that we was cool with, that we was kicking it with, whatever the case may be. And Jones did some Jones shit in front of her, and she couldn't believe that niggas is like this.
Yeah, you thought we just talk about this on the pod?
Jones was like, we was kicking it, and Jones was like, hey, we finna leave. So it was me, her, and Jones. And Jones was like, hey, I'm finna go find somebody to leave with me.
We were going to hookah, not like in that way.
Yeah, we was going to hookah. But Jones was like, hey, I'm finna go find somebody to leave with me. And she like, a stranger? I'm like, yeah. She's like, he really finna just find a girl in here? Like, we trying to leave right now. He gonna find somebody right now that's gonna leave with him. I'm like, it's pretty probably. Like, and she looking like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, niggas is crazy.
That was the second thing, actually.
Shoot for real. What was the first thing?
The shorty who worked there.
Oh, you Jade on show that worked there,
yeah. She didn't think I was gonna, you know what I'm saying? I told him how it was gonna work. I'm like, listen, I can't holler at her over the bar. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get the number.
Got the bartender's number.
It's usually not
no tip. Didn't even buy a drink from her.
Nope.
That's what niggas. Anybody
and it was packed with. It was packed, and niggas was in there hollering at her too.
Niggas was on her every time she walked past, for sure.
Yeah.
She was nice. Shout out to her.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to her. She wholesome?
Yeah, she's cool as shit.
That's what's up, man. That's cool. That's what's up. All right, man. Patreon today, we're gonna talk about Anthony Edwards. Not technically about Anthony Edwards, but about his situation.
Yeah.
I think there's a new president being set for men and being accepted by men and women. And it could be a little bit more fair, but also could be a little bit more harmful to the community at large and long term and things like that. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Caleb Wilson, who died from pledging. We're gonna address that, and there's a few other relationship topics that I want to cover in the Patreon today. So make sure y'all tune into the Patreon. If you're not in the Patreon, make sure you click whatever link, wherever, bios, the links is everywhere. The links is every fucking where. It's in the description of this podcast, whether you're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever. It's also in my bio. It's in Jones' bio. The links are everywhere.
Also, if you're in the Patreon, we are communicating differently.
Ah, there you go.
Yes. So I know the chat don't be as bussing.
Yeah.
But it's not because we're not cool. It's because you're not finna just go back and forth between apps. We know most of y'all hanging out on Instagram. So the Patreon chat, the community, we moved it to Instagram where you spend most of your time. So if you need that link, it's in the Patreon.
Yeah. The link is in the Patreon, but it's not working straight out of the Patreon. So you got to take the link. You could text it to yourself. You could put it in a different app and it'll work. But from Patreon, it's going to not work. But once you have the link is the link. If you don't want to go through the link, just DM me and I'll put you in. If you're not in Patreon, this is a Patreon only group chat. It's a private group chat on Facebook. So you got to get approved to get in. You got to have a link to get in and shit like that. So yeah, that's that on the group chat. What else we got? Rose Gold. Rose Gold is an event. It's a charitable R&B cocktail party, meaning we dressing up, we wearing suits, we wearing dresses, we listen to R&B, we dance, and we having a great fucking time, all in the name of charity for our 6 young mentees who are, they're pursuing different things in life, and we're putting this event together and donating all the proceeds to them to sponsor their different dreams and aspirations. 6 of them, 6 different career fields they want to go into. And we putting up the bread to help them. We buying the MacBooks. We buying the barber kit. We paying for a summer training camp and equipment for our young guy who wants to play football.
We got one of them internship with one of the dopest stylists in Chicago.
We got my young guy internship. We got one of them in the National Society of Black Engineers. All of these things. So all of the proceeds from Rose Gold from this party goes to them. And we're going to keep pushing them throughout the year. If you can't make it to Rose Gold, it's March 30th. It's in Chicago, Illinois. If you can't make it to that event, you can still donate to it at rosesaredead.org/Rose Gold. And you can also find your ticket there as well. The tickets are a pay what you want ticket. So you can pay anywhere from $1 to $1,000 to get into the event. What do you get for $1 when you pay for the event? You get to get in the event and support a child's dream. What do you get for $1,000? You get to get in the event and support a child's dream. We don't have a bottle for you. We don't have a table for you. You get to support a child's dream. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no special privileges around this motherfucker. It's for the kids.
Thanks.
God damn it. That's it. That's Rose Gold.
That's about it.
Yeah. So let's jump into this topic.
Let's, man. It's going to be a good one.
Let's jump into it. Oh, we got a voicemail.
Oh,
Shit.
Hi, Terry. Hi, Jones. So I'm calling because
Hey.
I heard the phone number on the podcast, and I wanted some advice. So I know you guys are both fathers, and I am dealing with a very toxic co-parenting relationship with my child's father. Our daughter is 8, and her father, I've met him when I was 16. He was, I want to say 29. He was not truthful about his
15?
age when we met, but when I got pregnant, I learned the calculations. Now, I feel like you guys you mentioned this in an episode that you all had about how, older guys were kind of preying on the young high school girls. In another episode, I think you mentioned something about bad vagina management. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I already know what the situation looks like, but fast forward, there was one weekend, he picked up our daughter and her dog. He has an apartment, but he takes our daughter to his sister's apartment. She has kids that are her age, and she just feels more comfortable at that place. And also, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm back. So, yes, she recently went to his sister's house with her dog, and the sister actually called me. Excuse me, I live in Air Train. I'm calling from New York. So the sister actually said that my daughter's dog could not be in her home, and she verbalized this to both my daughter and her brother, and they said that my daughter said that I actually knew about it, but I didn't. Maybe she's just being a kid and just said that I did when I didn't, but the father knew, and he disregarded his sister's wishes and brought the dog anyway. So that same night, he ended up bringing the dog back to my apartment 2:30 in the morning. The following night, he brought my daughter home 12 in the morning, Sunday, when she had school the following day, which would have been Monday. We've had multiple conversations about him bringing her home when he takes her for the weekend late. My daughter did explain to me that he has a girlfriend who has a disabled child. And as a mom, I sympathize with that. She had to stop doing my daughter's hair multiple times to tend to her disabled child. So I said that to my child's father, and he immediately got defensive and said that the girl was not his girlfriend, and he ended up getting my mom involved and basically mirroring exactly what I said when I offered the sympathy about the girlfriend and her disabled child. He literally said verbatim what I said to him and said it back to my mom, kind of to garner sympathy, I felt. So, he and I were going back and forth, and my mom was present as well. Our daughter was present, unfortunately, as well. And he ended up mentioning something about her missing some days of school last year. This year, he has not been to pick her up or drop her.
Damn. That went off, and that was it. She didn't add anything else.
I was waiting for the question.
Yeah, I was too. Yeah. Guess I should listen to that before the show. Sorry. But so far it sounds like I don't know what it sounds like.
I don't. But I don't want to assume. I'm gonna guess. Obviously, y'all got like a disgruntled relationship. He's kind of, I guess right now, from what I heard, the biggest issue is him bringing her, back late as hell. She got school in the morning type shit.
Yeah.
You've expressed that that's not cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna make up a scenario. I don't know.
How do you create a boundary around that?
You just have to voice it. You just have to communicate it. And after so long, if it's not being respected, then you probably have to go through the courts.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this is why it's important to respect people's boundaries. Because it seems like you're not respecting her boundary with the lateness and not even her boundary. What's best for your kid.
Right, nigga.
But also, you ain't respect your sister's boundary with the goddamn dog.
Yeah. That was crazy. I'm not disrespecting my sisters.
Now you got your sister calling me because you took the dog over there. She told you not to take the dog over there.
Yeah, you don't.
Dumb shit. She should be calling you.
You ain't respecting your sister, your son, mama. What woman do you respect?
Okay, we ain't gonna do that to the nigga now. Like, goddamn. I think he like his daughter. Like, shit.
that's a child.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. We ain't get to finish it, so call back. Tell us the rest of the story. What's going on? I hope everything get better for you though, for sure.
Definitely.
New York sound tough. Like a tough place.
I definitely heard the New York in her voice.
For sure. Her getting on the train was very New York as well. Yeah. All right, let's get to this topic, man.
Let's do it.
Let's get to the topic. Let's see. All right, so when a woman, you fucking her.
Yeah.
You're this is why I keep saying you fucking her. Right?
I swear.
That's not the most important thing. However, from a man's perspective, sound like Jones right now. From a man's perspective, I think our experiences make us assume that if a woman is willing to give us some pussy, that she would definitely give us a relationship. And we think that a woman values the pussy like so much that the commitment is like not even a question after they give it to you.
For sure.
So not saying that the day a woman gives you some pussy, she wants to be in a relationship with you, but she definitely thinks it's going that way if she's willing to have sex with you. So when you offer it, you wouldn't expect the answer to be no.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bad assumption on our part. Obviously it is.
I'm not going to say it's a bad assumption because we're not wrong and it's not far-fetched, right? Okay. Because publicly, vagina is here. You know what I'm saying? And women on any platform will be like, oh, I'm not, like they hold it to a certain regard, right? Yeah. And that's been forever. I can probably count on my hand how many women have thought of themselves, their vaginas, as just, it's just whatever, Yeah. They every last one of them think you're super, super, super special, which you're not. Every last one of them think it's just like, cream of the crop type shit. Yeah. So for a woman to give you that, inherently we're like, oh shit. Like she thinks highly of me. Yeah. I just got the pussy.
Certain types of women you think.
Yeah, certain types.
Not every woman.
No. We know
some women like you probably getting this pussy to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll take some.
Yeah, take a bit.
A little bit. Just a little.
Yeah.
But yeah. I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And it's a mind fuck.
What's your initial reaction?
My feelings hurt.
Confused.
My feelings hurt.
Abused.
Confused. Abused.
Yeah.
Misused.
I'm tired of being sick and tired.
Nah, I definitely, the first time it happened, it was real eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to get into that or?
Go ahead, jump.
All right, cool. So I had been removed from the relationship world I was 22 when my relationship with my son's mom ended. Yeah. And I was single all the time. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was 27 where I became open to even dating somebody for real. Yeah. And I met this young lady. Yeah. We met so organically. I loved it. We met on the train on the way home from work type shit. Oh, yeah, it was cool as shit.
It's a rom-com.
Yeah, it literally was. She walked past me and she said, don't y'all know on the metro trains, like at the end of it, like you got the double seats. Mm-hmm. She sat over there and I was like kind of like in the singular seats. So she walked past, I seen her, And you got to be cold for me to like, you know what I'm saying, really pursue you in public and disrupt my whole shit. Yeah. She was like that. So I got up, took all my shit. It was just a book bag, but I sat directly across from her on the other side, and she peeped that shit, and she like looked out the corner of her eye, and she was like, she did one of those. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm shooting.
I'm definitely shooting. But we ended up having a good conversation, exchange numbers, cool. Fast forward, matter of fact, that same day, she ended up getting off the train. A stop before me. I'm like, damn, she live around here? I ain't never seen this girl before. So we lived a block away from each other. Long story short, through text and stuff, we start having conversations, phone calls. We go out and we kicking it. So in the beginning, she kind of told we getting to know each other. So she's expressing, you know what I'm saying, where she come from, where she's at, like emotionally, all this type of stuff. She was like, yeah, I just got out of a relationship not too long ago. It was real bad. Nigga cheated on me, blah, blah, woo, woo. I'm like, man, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah, so like I ain't really on shit right now as far as, you know, pursuing a serious relationship. Like I'm just kind of like, we could chill, we could have fun. Ooh. I'm like, I'll bet. And like initially I'm like, okay, that's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. You know, I don't know you. There's no feelings attached. So I'm like, I'm cool with that. We start dating and we dating. And mind you, we live a block away from each other. So we started seeing each other like every single day. Like I'm fucking packing. It got to the point where I'm packing a bag for the week and staying in her house. She's packing it, and we done. When that week is over, she's packing a bag and staying in my house.
Emotions grow so fast like that.
It grows fast. That's why we don't put a time frame. When y'all be asking us questions like, how long before I know a guy's serious? How long before we could do this, do that? A lot of shit can happen in the small. It depends on the time spent, not the time.
Not how many weeks, how many months.
Not how many weeks.
Like how many? Because in a month, I could spend hella hours with you. I could be with you every day, or I could see you 4 times in a month.
Exactly. So if you do like now, I don't see myself doing that now. We too grown and got shit to do. This was younger. But we spending weeks at a time together. So feelings grew crazy. And as time passed, I'm like, we had been doing it for like months. I think it's probably maybe like 7-8 months in, and my feelings is there. And it seemed like her feelings there. We fucking every day. We going out. We doing the day. Like we doing everything. We spending so much time together. And in my mind, I'm like,
it's
damn,
a given.
We just built towards something. So I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, what's up? Like, what you want to do? Type shit. Like, you want to get in a relationship? Like, what we finna do with this? And she hit me with I thought I said what I wanted. I'm like, what you like? What? She like, remember when like in the beginning when we first started talking, like I told you, like I wasn't on shit. I'm like, yeah, I remember that, but we in love now. What you talking about? No, nigga, you're in love. No, but
I'm emotionally unavailable.
Yes, she was genuinely emotionally unavailable, and I didn't know how to take that. My feelings was hurt. I was shocked, and that was the first time in my life that a woman didn't want to be in a relationship with me. Mm-hmm. Every other woman I dated, they going for a relationship if I ask. So I started to think, I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Like I'm internalizing the fuck out of this because I'm like, what does this mean? Like we have like, and we keep saying we have sex because y'all put that so high on the pedestal.
Or maybe we do too.
Yeah, we do too. Yeah. So we having sex, we spending time together. Like we damn near living together. Mm-hmm. Like you're using I'm using the bathroom and you walk in and brush your teeth. Like what the fuck is going on? So that was the situation.
You don't feel nothing? Are you a fucking robot?
Like they like, what do you mean? Yeah. Like I didn't know what that meant. Why don't you want to? In my head, the questions I was asking myself, like, why don't she want to be in a relationship with me? Like, am I not good enough for a relationship? Do she not see me as a leader? Do she not see me as a provider? Maybe like it's something. Yeah, it's got to be something, and I just don't know what that something is.
So it was eating at you.
It was eating at me.
I think the things that makes this situation harder, and I want everybody watching this to go watch the movie 500 Days of Summer, because that's exact. It's a rom-com, and it's Morgan Freeman narrating it, and he was like, "This is a story of Boy Meets World, but this is not a love story." And have you ever seen the breakup song by Wale?
Yes.
You know that video? Mm-hmm. He stole the whole concept from 500 Days of Summer, the movie. So it's the same thing. So it's a great movie. But it's about this. It's about guy meets a girl. amazing. The girl in white culture or whatever, she was like the most beautiful girl. I'm not white, I didn't see it, but she was the most beautiful girl in the world. Like every nigga wanted her. And the random guy that was kind of like goofy that, you know, he got her. And it was like, it didn't make sense. But he was in love, and they spent so much time together, and she was just like, nigga. She was just so emotionally unavailable. She's like, this shit means nothing to me. Right? But I love spending this time, which I really enjoy this shit, but it means nothing to me on a deep level. Thing was, as soon as they stopped talking, she got in a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah.
So you think it's eating at you when she says she don't be with you. Imagine she turned around and jumped in a relationship with somebody else. Now it's like, okay, so it wasn't that you wasn't ready. It's just that it really wasn't me.
Yeah.
At that point, what do you do as a guy? Like, where did your mind go? Where do your emotions go? And things like that.
Naturally, you're going to start comparing yourself to this guy.
Absolutely. What does he have that I don't?
Exactly. I'm talking about you going to analyze the fuck out of him. And it's really going to tweak you out. And I don't want to say he's less than you, but in your mind, you know what I'm saying? It's like you comparing. It's like, it don't make sense. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And especially if there's no way to know this, but especially if like maybe he's not showing up like you. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't as romantic as you. Like you hitting 10s on all levels of this relationship of what you need to be for a woman. And he's at 7s and 6s. Yeah. And she's just head over heels. It's
but my thing is like, you don't really know how he's showing up, right? How he's showing up for her. Like the outside looking in.
I kind of knew.
Well, this the other thing too, is that like a woman will tell you about the guy.
Exactly.
Right? But I don't think they ever really honest about that. I think they always kind of downplay. It's so many women who I dated before, who I'm still cool with, and I talk to them about their current nigga. They never had nothing good to say about the nigga. But they be the nigga for years. I'm like, you gotta be doing something, right? How did y'all even end up in a relationship? You have nothing good to say from the time you start talking to this nigga to the relationship to whatever point y'all at now. You've never had nothing good to say about this nigga when you're talking to me. You capping. Like, you capping. Like, this nigga got to be doing something right. So I think that plays a role as well.
And another thing, you also start to think, and this is where guys can, this is where that villain arc can start.
Absolutely.
This is exactly where the villain arc starts, because you internalizing it like, okay, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm a gentleman. Yeah. I'm this, I'm that. You just got this checklist of things that you feel like, I'm doing all of these things, so I deserve a relationship with you, because based off of society and what men are supposed to do, I'm doing all of that shit.
Yeah.
I'm the good guy.
Yeah.
So now when it doesn't go your way, now women wanting a good man is all a lie to you.
Yeah. Especially when you've been a bad man to everybody else and they all want to be with you.
Yes.
That's what justifies it.
That's what it fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like,
I finally did the shit right.
Yeah. Right.
I finally did what I was supposed to do. And
all the women who I was lukewarm with, all the women who I barely gave time to, it was a good time, but I barely gave time to, no attention to, you know what I'm saying? We fucking or whatever.
Still on my phone.
Still on my phone. Like,
can't get rid of them.
You can't beat them off with a stick.
Can't shake them.
Can't shake them. But
you chasing this girl around the park.
You chasing this girl around the park. You're doing the flowers. You're doing the dates. You're doing all of that.
Yeah.
So in your head, it's like, you know what? Women don't want the shit that they say they want.
Yeah.
Like, and you label that as all women. You know what I'm saying? But now it's a little different. Now that we older, like we in our 30s, I feel like more women want that now. But keep in mind, this happened to me in my early 20s. Well, like kind of mid 20s, and she was even younger than me. Women will typically do this at that age, like in that age range. So that's why, like, I don't fault her for that. Whatever, like it's no big deal, because like hindsight, I'm looking at how young you were. Hell, I've done some growing. I'm growing every fucking year. I'm growing every, so I get it. I understand. But at that time, and men who are going through that phase, I feel like that shifts their whole perspective on how they gonna date women and how they gonna treat women.
Yeah. I think trying to rationalize why a woman chose another guy over you is one of the most foolish shit that you can do.
Yeah.
Because you'll never really know why from the outside looking in. And if she explains it to you, she has the space to not be 100% honest.
She's not going to be 100% honest.
But she's going to take what she's going to say and run with it. And this could fuck your perception up a lot more than if you would have just, not heard whatever she had to say about it.
And it's going to fuck your perception up. and it's still not gonna be like the whole truth.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, you have to find solace in the fact that you're not him.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be him.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be with her, but she wants to be with him. And the only way for you to get with her is for you to be like him. And you're not like him. You're like you. And you shouldn't want her bad enough to not be you.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to cut your losses at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, just like I tell women all the time, you got to think of how bad the best case scenario actually is. The best case scenario is that y'all end up together and she don't like you for real.
Yeah.
Because she could have said yes.
You don't think of that.
You always think of like the perfect scenario of she actually really does want to be with me and she says yes and we end up happy ever after. But that's not the reality. The reality is that she doesn't really want this. The reality could have been that she said yes because women have, like, society kind of pressures women to be more agreeable.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So she could have just said yes just to go on along and get along. She a woman. She don't want to start a pot. She don't want to bruise your ego.
Man.
She don't want to hurt your feelings. Now you're in a relationship with somebody who don't like you.
Yeah.
So the best case scenario is fucking terrible. And you got to walk away knowing that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that, for me, like, that's how I'm able to walk away from now, even now. Like, the last chick I was dating, like, best case scenario, I end up with somebody who likes to emotionally attack me. Like, that's, like, I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I think it's just something to keep in mind when it comes to how these situations play out and not crashing the fuck out over it.
Here's the plot twist.
Yeah.
You knew very, very early on that she didn't want you. Yeah. You knew.
It was some signs.
It was some signs.
Yeah.
But even, I feel like, I'm going to just say you knew. Yeah, signs, but this the thing about intuition and discernment. People like to say, I'm building my intuition or I'm building up my discernment through experiences and everything like that. Yeah. You're not building that up. That's God-given. It's there. It's instinctive. Yeah. You can't build that up. It is what it is. What you are building is your ear to hear it and listen to it.
Play the church music. We gotta put the church music on the board.
What you are hearing, what you are building is the ear to not only listen to it, but not only to hear it, but also to listen to it. Mm-hmm. Because it's telling you the same things. But as you get older and through your experience, people only learn two ways, the hard way or the harder way. Mm. So as you keep bumping your head, it's strengthening your ear. As you keep breaking your own heart, it's strengthening your ear. Mm-hmm. So when your gut, intuition, discernment is telling you something, now it's still gonna hurt, but it's way easier to walk away from it because you got the bigger picture in mind. Yeah. Like you can think a little further versus like, because at the time I wasn't thinking I might end up with a woman that really don't like me for real and she settled. You know what I'm saying? Because women do that shit too. Women are settled for, stability and all this other stuff and not the guy they really like type shit. And you could have been in that situation. But one thing I applaud her for doing is not like standing on what she said. Like she actually protected me in doing that.
Yeah. You could have pressured her into a relationship.
I could have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And she would have convinced her, because women lie for niggas. So she would have convinced herself, like, you know what? He a good guy. She called her friends, told her friends all the good shit about you because she feel kind of empathetic towards how you feel. So her same friend that she was like, oh, I don't want to be with this. She called her back. You know what? He is a good guy. He do this. He do show up like this. Ain't that what we say we want? Woo, woo. Now she
trying to convince herself.
2 months in, she like, I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
And you finna catch the short end of the stick of however she handles that. It might be cheating, because now she still don't want to hurt your feelings. So now she just finna do what she actually want to do behind your back. Yeah. Or she emotionally disconnect from you, and now you spend the next 3 months wondering what the fuck wrong with her and what the fuck wrong with the relationship. Now you feel emotionally tortured, and it could get bad. Like you're lucky that she said no.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure some guys listen to this or gonna hear this, and you probably going through this shit right now. Yeah. And the advice that I would give to you right now is to cut your losses, because think like you're emasculating yourself in this process. Yeah. Like you're going to feel low. Like you start doing shit you won't do, doing shit you thought you wouldn't do.
Going through phones. Raising your voice.
All of that shit.
You lose your temper. You lose your cool too much. You might put your hands on a girl.
That and just that feeling of not feeling worthy,
wanted or desired for the
wanted
first time.
like it's just a nasty situation, and I would say just cut the losses. And because let me think, always this is guy. I met this older guy. He had to be in his like 70s or some shit like that, and I was in sales at the time, and I was dealing with a prospect, and we were going through like kind of, he had like rebuttals, or he wasn't trying to buy what we were selling or whatever the case may be. And not just like it was stern, it was just, I just had to overcome objections, right? And I was really good at that. So the older man, he was kind of like nearby as I was talking to this man, and the guy had said something, and I was so young. He said like, yeah, I got to ask my wife. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, let's talk to the decision maker of the house. I said that to him. And that's demeaning, like what's the word? Fucked up.
You diminished him.
I diminished
Undermined
him.
him.
I undermined him, diminished him.
Shitted on him.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying? And he caught that. So after the conversation, he told me, he was like, hey, I overheard, you know what I'm saying, you talking to that guy, and you shouldn't have said that. He said, always leave a man with his dignity. And always leave situations. I took that as, even yourself. Always leave a situation with your dignity. I guarantee you, if you walk away the first time somebody tells you that they don't want you, that'll feel way better because you're not going to change their mind.
Yeah.
So if you walk away the first time, you can stand on that. You can be proud of that. You can be okay with that. Yeah, it hurt, but you still feel like a man at the end of the day. I took the route of chasing after her. I took the route of trying to prove why I was a good option, trying to prove why I can be this good man. I can be the man for you and all of that. And number one, I didn't change her mind. And number two, I regretted it. I regretted doing all that chasing. I'm like, I should have walked away. I should have had some more self-respect, all of that.
It's nasty looking back on it.
It's nasty looking back.
It's character building, so you could look back at a certain
I can talk
point.
I couldn't talk about this shit at first.
Yeah. 2 years ago, you probably would have been like,
No.
yeah, I'm still embarrassed about that.
Yeah.
That same with me. Same with me when it came to my situation. But when I say my situation, I'm talking about a different situation. But I do want to go back to the story I told earlier.
Okay.
Right? And I want to talk about the factors of why a woman in that situation, again, y'all fucking, damn it, going to movies, y'all holding hands, y'all kissing in the car,
Man.
you got your hand on that thigh in the car, y'all sharing real moments, y'all having Netflix and chill, not because you don't got no money, because y'all actually wanted to stay in the house together.
Man.
Y'all like each other.
For sure.
She don't want to be with you. What are some factors as to why that might be the case? Number one, it could be timing. Your situation, you just got out of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It could be things that you got going on in your life that she don't really like at the moment. It could be just readiness, her being ready, her not feeling emotionally available. Her not trusting herself to be faithful at the time. She could be saving you from that. You know what I'm saying? And it could be compatibility. She might feel mentally stimulated by you. She might even be physically stimulated by you. That doesn't mean that her emotions are there. Like you might be dicking her down, having great sex with her, but she don't feel emotionally connected to you. Or she might feel like y'all conversations ain't there. Like she couldn't be with you long term because y'all conversation. It could be a compatibility issue on the physical, mental, or emotional level. And my situation is crazy because I had this conversation with her today, right? Because before I told the story, I'm like, this is really my homie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me call her and ask her. I called her and asked her. I was like, what was it? You know what I'm saying? It was my first time really telling her, like, hey, it was a time where I told her I wanted to be with her back then, but we had kind of conversations. I was like, what's going on? Like, how you feel about this? Ooh, I'm thinking about this. Think about doing this with you. Ooh. But so I called her today and I was like, hey, I really wanted to be with you at a point. Like I really did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you kind of seemed like to always shy away and kind of shut down when that topic came up, even though we was doing everything that I wanted to do. I was getting everything I wanted out of the situationship part of it. I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a one-sided thing. Or I felt like I was chasing you around. I felt like we really fuck with each other. What was it? And she told me, she was like, basically timing. Like every time that she got to that point, something happened. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time she got to that point, or we got to that point, I should say, Kason was on the way. And I told, and it's crazy because I remember her coming over. She was in that room over there, and I was like, I told her about Case, and then the look on her face, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna hear from her for a while. And so that was the first thing. Then the second thing, another big issue, which we kind of discovered, or not discovered, but we kind of realized today, was that I ingratiated her into my friend group too much, to the point where since I brought her around everybody, she knew all of these women I was dating, right? And because she knew all these women I was dating, she became cool with some of them over time. So maybe we tried to talk at this point and it didn't work, and now we just cool. But it's another chick that I talked to that's around the friend group now, coming to events and things like that. Now she didn't got cool with that girl. You know what I'm saying? And now it's kind of like awkward and shit like that. So that happened a few times, and it was kind of like, damn, but she ain't ingratiate me and her. I don't know her friends for real. She know all my friends. So if she did have something going on, it's fine. We both single, but I wouldn't know. It's not in her. It's not in my face, right? Yeah. Versus like everybody I talk to, because we throw these events, everybody around, she's super social, so she meeting everybody and shit like that. She kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So
that makes sense. That
became a thing, and then it was another situation with somebody who, you know, she was a little closer to. So. It was just always something. So it was the timing in that situation. But I think that's important. I think most times with women, and we had a good friendship inside of whatever else we had going on. So that was a very easy conversation to have with her. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and most times, women do not tell men the reason why they didn't pick them.
For sure.
And I think that can be harmful, because it could be a thing where a man is willing to fix this and would like to know so he can fix this. Now, it could be some shit that he's not willing to fix. Like, nah, that's not me, and that's never going to be me. That's not my character, and that's fine. That's something that you want. That's not my character. That's fine. But it could be some shit that he needs to work on. It could be, let's say a girl pick a different nigga because he got more money. You know what I'm saying? He might be complacent. Now, I'm not saying that a guy need to go out and say, I'm finna switch careers so I could get this woman. Yeah. But you might have just got complacent in your life. And you might, and that shit works with ages too, because when I first graduated college and I was making however much I was making teaching, I was cool with that. I'm glad I got into other shit, because by this age it wouldn't be cool no, especially on the dating market. It'd be like, nah, G. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it could be like, that could have turned the nigga up and brought the best out of him if you would have told him, like, these are the things that I need that you're not able to do for me to be in a relationship.
I feel like they're not gonna tell you if it's childish or if it's what's the word? Not petty, shallow.
Got you.
Yeah. If it's a shallow reason why she's not choosing you, she's gonna keep it vague, and it's not gonna make sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And she could also feel judged. She could also feel embarrassed why she not picking you. It could be like, you just too good of a man.
She just don't believe it. Trust issues.
She don't believe it, or you're literally just too good of a man.
Oh, like it's boring type shit.
It's boring.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's definitely a thing. Women are not gonna. Well, some women will admit to that.
They're not gonna tell the nigga that.
They're not gonna tell the nigga that. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So it's gonna be like, it's gonna be real vague, and it's gonna usually kind of fill in the blanks type shit. Versus if she do see potential in you, and it is maybe she's concerned with your ability to provide. So she like. Yeah, like maybe are you a DJ right now, or you not the shit on the DJs?
Some DJs got some money.
Yeah, some DJs got some bread. Like, or you driving DoorDash, or you doing this, you doing that. Like, I don't really see how you can, hold us up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So if you get your finances in order, we could probably revisit this. And that don't mean she's a gold digger, bro. Like y'all gotta stop with that shit. It takes money to raise a family. It takes money for a relationship. It takes money. Like, we're not gonna exclude that. And women aren't wrong for requiring you to be at a certain level, because if you're going to be the provider, you need resources, bro.
You do.
You need resources. Yeah. That's not something to be triggered by. Yeah. Like, don't you? And all men would agree. You want to be able to provide a life for your woman. Yeah. If most men could, you would. Baby, you ain't got to work. If you want to work, cool, but I'm going to pay all the bills. If you had the money, you wouldn't mind paying all.
Issue at all.
If money wasn't an issue, you would pay all the bills.
You would have your girl at the crib chilling.
You feel me?
For sure.
So you shouldn't take offense for a woman, because if you're not at a certain level and you trying to wife a girl and build a family, then you need money to do that.
Yeah.
But if that was the reason, I feel like women could express that.
I don't think most women would tell a guy that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that, that they will feel like, and there's another thing is guys, because it's a two-way street. Women should be more honest, but you got to be easy to talk to if you want people to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not an easy person to talk to, everybody's gonna lie to you. Your kids gonna lie to you. Your mama gonna lie to you. Your brother, your sister, your best friend, and your bitch. they all gonna lie to you.
You ain't gonna never know the truth about
You'll
shit.
never know the truth because you're too hard to talk to. You get defensive about everything. You argumentative about everything. Your ego too easy. So motherfuckers not finna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I got friends who I know that it be some shit that I be wanting to tell them, but I'm like, I know, bro, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And it's just like, it is what it is.
For sure. Same.
Yeah.
I had that conversation with my person too. Like after the fact, what was it or whatever? Because same thing. Mm-hmm. Like the friendship was, nigga, we were cool as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like that shit. Like I hope to experience that level of friendship one day.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It was definitely unique. But yeah, so we had a conversation, and she was like, "Man, I ain't gonna lie. It was because in the beginning, like you was like trying to push me into a relationship." And I just wasn't ready, and you was just pushy about it, and also the going through the phone thing, like you went through my phone, like you know what I'm saying. It got real messy, and she was like, that was a big part of, why it couldn't have worked. I feel like, and I thought about this back then, but I feel like when because she expressed, I remember one time she tried to like quote unquote break up with me. She like I came over to the crib one day. It was normal as hell, and she was sad as hell. Yeah. I'm like, "What's wrong, baby? What's up, nigga?" She like, "I gotta talk to you." I'm like, "What's?" And it's still not clicking to me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "What's up? Talk to me." I'm like, "Sit down." I'm thinking I'm finna console her or whatever the case may be. She crying. Yeah. She like, "Yeah, we can't talk no more. Ooh, like we can't do this. Like I ain't ready. Blah blah blah. Woo woo." And I'm like, what you need? Like, what you need me to fall back a little bit? You know what I'm saying? You need me to do this or that? I'm basically trying to talk myself back into the situation. Yeah. And in that moment, hindsight, I should have been like, I understand. Yeah. And walked away. Yeah. If I would have did that, I don't know the future. I don't know how that, you could play devil's advocate all you want, but that would have been a better option for me versus the route that I took. And it probably could have came back around, like, when she was ready, when the timing was right, whatever the case may be. So that's why it's just always better to walk away when the first time somebody expressed that you're not the person for them.
Absolutely. It's going to save you a lot of dignity, a lot of stress, less cortisol in your body.
Oh, nigga. I think I dropped like 15 pounds that week.
Yeah. Let me see, man. So we talked about, we hit pretty much, what are some of the signals? What are some of the signs that a woman is gonna end up in that space? I think for me in my situation, there were no signs for it. I think like it was kind of like shit that I did that made her change her mind, but I don't think it was no signs for
real. I didn't see any signs. I'm gonna be real, because it's hard to see the sign when the bond is that organic.
She told you up front though.
Yeah, I mean but so you got to think about where I was when she told me that. Like think about anybody's situation, like a nigga.
Oh yeah.
Like a nigga, like this bad girl.
Actions speak louder than words. Like
you feel me? Yeah, like
you going on where we actually are emotionally.
Yeah, like in the moment, I just met you. You fine as hell, body cold, and you tell me you just want to have fun. Nigga, I've been doing that shit for the last 5 years. Like, boom, another one. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Then it shifts when you start catching feelings or whatever. Yeah. And I think we can get arrogant, bro.
Yeah.
I think we get arrogant because it's women in our lives. I feel like we experience that more than women do. As far as coming across a woman and it just don't be that, and they be all caught up and they trying to figure out.
Absolutely.
Why
that's
he
the average. Yeah. That's how most situations end up.
Like, why he don't want to be with me? Woo, woo. So it was arrogant of us to think that it couldn't happen to us.
Yeah. That's just not how the dynamic usually works.
Yeah. And it was extremely humbling.
Yeah. Because usually if a woman turn you down, it's going to be immediately.
Right.
You're not really getting turned down the road, especially when you didn't do anything wrong. It's one thing you cheated on a chick, she caught you doing this, she caught you doing that. But you do everything right. You smooth. You want to be with her. She kicking it with like. It's rare that it happens, but it does happen. It's gonna catch you off guard every time.
Yeah, and who knows? That could have been, you know what I'm saying, my karma. I be telling y'all, that could have been my karma for
all the shit you did to other women.
From 22 to 27.
You ever heard the Summer Walker song Karma? This is exactly what it's about.
Damn.
She basically saying she telling the nigga that I'm your karma. Like, I just showed up to do my job.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry you call out whatever feelings you had. And it's somewhere that she's like, you thought you was gonna keep playing with everybody, right? Like the song cold. I was listening to it this morning. The song cold. But
yeah, man.
Well, yeah, so some things that niggas could do to avoid ending up in this situation. I feel like this, right? I feel like you wanna kind of take shit slow.
Yeah.
And the only way to take shit slow and not get caught up in your feelings, one of the best ways for me, no spending the night.
Okay.
We underrate how many emotions and how much intimacy goes into someone spending the night at your house.
Yeah.
It's not just about cuddling. It's about the trust of laying down and going to sleep next to somebody. Like, you trust this person. They're not going to rob you. They're not going to, like, this is not my trauma talking either. Like, you feel comfortable sleeping around somebody. You got to feel comfortable sleeping around anybody.
Bro, there's studies that show if you sleeping next to somebody like you trust and love, like it just boosts, you know.
Yeah. You wake up the next morning. What are y'all doing? Are y'all watching some YouTube? Are y'all watching some movies? You cooking breakfast for? Y'all ordering breakfast? That's where this shit gets to be too much. That's where the shit gets to move very, very quickly.
I have to say this.
Go ahead.
You just reminded me. You know what we used to do when we woke up?
What?
Mind you, we sleeping weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Never missed the morning. Every day when we woke up, we didn't speak. We would roll over and we would literally just hold each other for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And just be sitting there holding each other, just laying together, and then get up and start our day. Like, all right, we riding a bus to work together and shit. Like, nigga, I feel like that's where the soul tie was created during those 10 minutes.
That too, and then you gotta imagine the void that you trying. Cause now this person become your best friend. So now if y'all don't talk, you ride the bus to work with this person. You hold this person in when you wake up. That's a big void.
Bro, it was a huge void.
You can't just have somebody there now. Like, you can't just pluck another person in there. And it just feels the same. Like, nah, it don't work like that.
I tried.
So
I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, so not spending the night is a big one. I also think that the whole, like, you're too good of a guy thing, like, you can't be desired if there's nothing to be desired. Like, if you give your all to someone, and it's not about playing games, but at the same time, the game is being played whether you're participating or not at the end of the day. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that you need to play a game with your girl, but what I am saying is that if you're OD accessible, right? And this goes back to putting your purpose first. Because it's always something for her to want. It's always, because if you're putting your business first, she's always going to want more of your time. Regardless, like if I'm sleeping with a chick, she wants to cuddle or for me to stay in this bed with her until it's time for her to get up. If I'm getting up every time, like, it's always something like, damn, she want a little bit more time. She want to cuddle a little more. Ooh. And I'm not saying you doing it to the point you avoiding your girl, like you leaving her like fucking emotionally, you know what I'm saying, abandoned. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that when you cater everything you do to somebody, there's nothing for them to desire about you. Like, you're predictable. They know what time, they know your schedule, what time you're going to call them. Ooh, it's nothing for them to be happy about that you called them.
Right.
And and as a guy, we understand this when the whole situation is reversed, because we've all talked to a woman who was a little bit hard to get in the beginning. And every time she answers the phone, you're like, damn, she answers it. She didn't have to call me back. Or she actually did call me back. Or she sat on the phone with me. Ooh. And when those tables turn and now she calling you every day, you don't even give a fuck. Now you're missing the calls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we've all felt that. So it's the same thing with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with you when you make yourself too accessible and you make this person you first. Like, before what you got going on and all of that, and then you surround your whole life around somebody, like you kind of setting yourself up to be a boring, too good, predictable, it's not fun, it's no interest, it's not desirable. You setting yourself up for that.
Yeah. That's exactly what I did, bro.
I know.
Like, He said, I know. I'm telling them, nigga. I know you know. But no, that's exactly what I did. Everything became about her. And hindsight, you looking back, you're like, yeah, that's just not it. And we're not telling y'all this so you can manipulate, because who you are is gonna show up. Like,
absolutely,
you ain't gonna be able to avoid that. What we're saying is just be purpose driven and have a life of your own and stick to whatever you got going on. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying avoid your lady, but if you got a certain schedule, fit her in the times that you have free time. Don't skip fucking, I'm just speaking in bro terms, in bro situation. Don't skip editing. I gotta work on the podcast right now, but you're gonna push all that to the side to kick it with her, because what's happening is you're becoming unattractive to her.
Yeah, we just talked about this. Yeah,
you're becoming unattractive to her. She's definitely peeping that, you know what I'm saying, like, this nigga drop everything. He'll do anything for me. Like, it's you don't want to manipulate it, but just be mindful of the psychology of a woman. That's all. Way the Superior Man. Y'all need to read that book. Way the Superior Man. It'll definitely help you help you understand the ideology of a woman, how women think. And also, give me a second. I want to say it's the 3% Man. Give me a second. Corey Wayne. It is How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne. You should check that out.
For sure. The last thing I'm gonna say on that, man, is just respect the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, respect that woman's decision. And when I say respect it, I mean, like, genuinely, not playing it off like, oh no, it's cool, woo, woo. Because all you're gonna do is be on her line, cussing her out about the shit in 2 weeks anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? So genuinely respect it. Like, it don't gotta feel good to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It don't gotta be, you don't gotta fake it, but at the same time, it's just like, all right, you this ain't what you wanted to do. And I can respect that. There's nothing I can do to change it, and that's your life. Like, you have the right to be with who you want to be with. I'm not the guy, and that's absolutely fine. And then one thing the red pill niggas say that I do gotta agree with, you kind of gotta take it like she betted against you.
Mm-hmm.
She felt like she had better options. That's the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
she looked at you and like, I could do better.
Yeah, and when you accept that, it's gonna make you kind of move on.
Not only is it gonna make you move on, but it's I feel like situations like this, because situations like this will push you into your purpose. It will push you into being a better man. Mm-hmm. Men, we grow through discomfort. Yeah. If you're comfortable all the time, if you don't have any hardship, there's not any growth there for real. So when you're in a situation like this and a woman look at you like, I feel like I got better options, the best thing you could do is, all right, bet I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? Not to get back at her, but all right, cool. Whatever it will, work on yourself. I'm finna become the absolute best version of myself. That's where you should use that hurting energy and go towards.
Absolutely.
And learn from them situations, because that situation happened with me, and it happened again maybe a few years ago. Like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I was in another situation, and I played it way differently because I learned so much from the first one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I found myself in a situation where I'm like, I'm talking to bro about it. I'm like, I don't know if Shorty feeling me. Ooh, blah, blah. We going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? We strategizing. And not after so long, it wasn't that long. I'm like, yeah, nah, this ain't it. Like we keep going over the same hurdles. And based off of my experience with the last Shorty, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm going to cut this off.
Yeah. You know
what I'm saying? We linked up. I'm like, yeah, nah, I can't do it. My feelings was hurt then. I like Shorty.
Yeah.
But it was like, I know what it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
So it was like, nah, I'll bow out. Now, we didn't have like a friendship to whereas, you know what I'm saying, I found out why she didn't choose me. I remember she was saying it was just bad timing or whatever, but that's kind of vague, you know? But yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy because that girl that you're talking about, that's kind of how this topic came up. Because she dating a nigga. Uh-huh. And it's crazy because she's dating my ex's ex or some shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? This nigga's winning. Because he got the relationship with the girl he wanted, and he was with the girl that I wanted that didn't want to fuck with me. This nigga just he turned it down. How was he turning us down?
We might need to get him on the pod.
Yeah, teach us your ways, brother. Nah, all jokes aside. But that again, that's why you can't compare yourself to whatever going on because and even women do this because the woman I was talking to about that whole situation, she was doing the same thing. She was wondering like, damn, why did he pick her over me? What do she got going on? She was comparing herself to her, and I'm just like, you can't do that because even in the case of a man, it's like niggas will pick the girl that's just easier to be with, and I don't know if you want to be easier to be with. I don't know if it might be she not making him look at himself. She accepting his bullshit. He can kind of do what he want and get away with shit that you ain't letting him get away with. You can't compare yourself because you might not even want to be who you have to be to make that nigga like you like that.
Yeah. And also, I was just telling somebody this last week. I feel like men will marry or be with the woman when a guy is finally ready. Yeah, the woman who's around, that's who he gonna pick. Like who? It's like passing doors. You know what I'm saying? Or different paths or whatever the case may be. Like when I'm in that season, and if I just so happen to run across a good woman, that's gonna be the one. Yeah, because I'm open right now. Yeah. I could run. Before I got to that door, I ain't ready. I could run across a good woman. I'm just not ready. It ain't you. Yeah. Cause I feel like if I was in the season, you would be the one.
Yeah, but I ain't there.
Yeah.
So you got AMP?
But nah. So I had a good friend of mine, and she was dating a guy, and he was a good guy. They had a good relationship. It was going smooth, and then until it wasn't. You know, I think he ended up cheating, and it fucked her whole understanding up. You know what I'm saying? She went through that whole phase of self-doubt, comparing, all of that shit, right? So months had passed. You know, she's in her healing phase, and she meets another guy. You know, she wasn't necessarily open, like she wasn't dating or anything like that. She was kind of like on her path to healing, but she met a guy, and he was just good. You know what I'm saying? He didn't remind her of bad niggas. Like, bro was just doing everything he was supposed to do in a genuine way. It didn't even seem performative. And so that was extremely refreshing to her. And she started to feel good in her healing phase because he came along and he's kind of like, quote unquote, helping her heal. Right. So they start talking, they start dating, and, you know, she's moving on per se. It gets to a point in their relationship. She reached out to me. She was like, I fucked up. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, you know, such and such who I've been talking to? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I don't want to be with him. I'm like, wait, hold on. What the fuck going on? What you talking about? Like, he doing all, you telling me all these good things, etc., whatever the case may be. So he was good enough to get her to be whole again. And once she was whole, she found out that she wasn't really compatible, or she didn't really like him for who he was. When she wasn't her full self, when she was missing parts of herself, he was the perfect void for that. But now that I'm whole, I'm back who I want to be, I got my confidence back, you're not the person that I would choose. I would choose you in a less than version of me, in a less than season of my life. Like, you're perfect for when I ain't shit. Yeah. Now that I'm whole, healed, and confident, I wouldn't date you. That's basically what ended up happening. So I don't think it's dangerous to choose when you're not whole, because you don't know if you're compatible with this person for real. You want to be the best version of yourself when you choosing somebody, because it's from a more the decision is coming from a more stable place. Yeah. You're not missing any pieces of you. Yeah. So if you healing right now, heal alone. Enjoy your solitude. Don't use people to speed up your healing process, because they just gonna get burnt up in the fire.
That's a good one. That was a great one, actually. Relationships are very nuanced. That could have been a whole episode. Yeah. Real quick, advice for boy moms. If you have a son that's struggling with his grades, which a lot of my mentees are right now, explain to them the concept of delayed gratification and how that relates to education and the value of education. years ago, they used to do what's called a marshmallow test. This was like way back in the 70s and 80s. They would bring like these 4-year-old kids in a classroom. They would set a marshmallow on a plate, and they would say, if you do not eat this marshmallow in 15 minutes, we'll give you another marshmallow. You have 2 marshmallows you can eat if you can delay eating this marshmallow for 15 minutes. Of course, what happened as soon as they closed the door, majority of the 4-year-olds ate the fucking marshmallow immediately. Some of them will lick the marshmallow, put it down, pick it up, turn it around, bite half of it. They come back like, hey, what can I give half? Like, you know what I'm saying? They trying to bargain and shit. And there are a very, very, very small percentage of these kids who are able to wait until the end of the 15 minutes and they get their other marshmallow, right? And they tracked those kids' lives throughout the next 20, 30 years. And those 4 kids were a lot more successful than the kids who ate the marshmallow immediately because they were willing to wait for a reward. A lot of my mentees that are in high school right now, they do not understand the value of school, and they're not doing good at it just because they're told to, because they're old enough to critically think. So it doesn't make sense to them why they have to do Macbeth. They're not engaged in Macbeth, in Shakespeare. They don't give a fuck. And you can't convince them to go get an A in English anymore the way you could when they were in 6th grade and they just did what they were told, right? They understand that I don't want to be a mathematician. I'm not probably never going to see algebra, geometry, or the fucking Louisiana Purchase again in my life. So I don't want to be here. I don't want to sit through this class, and it's extremely difficult. The reason why you need to explain delayed gratification to them is because there is a direct correlation between your level of education and your finances. I tell kids all the time, there's not many things I can tell you to do right now with the skill level you have to make $1,000 today that are legal. We know how to go scam. We know how to go sell drugs. We know how to go do some bullshit, rob somebody to make $1,000 today. But if you want to get the skill set to make $1,000 in a day, you absolutely can. It's just going to take time. And you're going to have to be able to wait years or however long to get that skill set. Once you get it, no one can take it from you. You can have as many $1,000 days as you want. You know what I'm saying? So explaining to your kid, like, hey, when you sit in that classroom, this class is important not because you're going to actually use the information that you're learning, but you need the paperwork. You need the GPA. You don't want to sit in this class and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to trade school. You know what? I don't want to go to college. Then when the time comes for you to go to college, you don't have the option to, right? It's one thing to say that you don't want to do it because it's not right in front of you, but when it's time to graduate and your homie going to Clark Carolina and your girl going to TSU, you thought she was going to stay here with your ass and she not. You know what I'm saying? Your girl get accepted to TSU, your other homie going to FAMU, you thought he got fucked up grades, he hanging out with you all day. Now he do his homework, he going to FAMU, and now you sitting here stuck. That's what happened to me. I had a 1.8 GPA with a 26 ACT score. They were like, with this ACT, you could go to any college you want. That GPA, your ass can go work at McDonald's or go to the Navy. It's over for you. Can't go back and redo high school. I'm fucked.
Man.
I'm fucked. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that delayed gratification. So explain delayed gratification to your kids if they're struggling with their grades. Explain to them the value of education, how much it's going to pay off later. Explain to them scholarships and how somebody paying for them to go to school is literally putting money in their pockets because they're going to have to pay the school fees back when they graduate. You will be surprised how many high school seniors I talk to who don't understand that concept. I just explained it to a kid today. I said, hey, if you need $1,000 to get your car fixed and I give you the $1,000, did I give you some money? He said, yes. I said, if you need $1,000 to get your car fixed and I give it straight to the shop instead of giving it to you, did I give you some money? He said, yeah, it's the same thing. I said, that's what a scholarship is. If you get a $60,000 scholarship, they gave you $60,000. Are they going to put it in your hand? No. But they're going to pay the college for you to go there. When you graduate, you don't got to pay it back. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing. You're going to school for money. Like, it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So
that's good.
Most kids, they don't get that shit at all. They don't get how scholarships work. And also, they don't understand that when you go to school, they're going to give you a loan and make you feel like you're going to school for free. They're going to tell you they want all that shit back. They're actually going to give you more than a loan. The semester costs $20,000. They're going to give you $25,000. Put $5,000 in your pocket. You're going to go spend that shit, buy a car, put some rims on the shit, pay your rent up, all that dumb shit, right? Then when it's time for you to graduate, they want all that shit back. So explain all of this to your... You'll be surprised how many of them do not understand it. They have the mental capacity to get all of this shit. We just don't talk to them about it.
For sure.
Explain to them the value of education, the value of delayed gratification. Talk to your kids, man.
Definitely.
That's all we got for today, man. If you're chasing anything in life, we're finna go behind the Patreon wall. Chase it over there. Chase it in Patreon. If you're chasing something in life, chase this shit in Patreon. Put your foot on the fucking gas and get over there, nigga. Decide, plan, sacrifice.
We out. Shoot.
It's all God in the cake.